Welcome everyone back to the Pommy and Oz channel. Hope we're all doing really well. And today what we're doing is we're going to be breaking down our continued series of the 2025 previews. And today what we're doing is we're looking at the front runners. And them front runners are Brisbane, Geelong and the Hawthorn Football Club. Three clubs that have been heavily hyped up in the media, had good results last year, and also ready to make a big statement in 2025. So let's dive in, see how these teams are shaping up, and get straight into that video. Let's kick things off with the reigning premiers, the Brisbane Lions. And after finishing 5th on the ladder last year, the Lions had a season that was just full of overcoming adversity to claim the ultimate prize in football. A key storyline was just the injury to Kiddie Coleman at the start of the year when they were really out of form. And the masterstroke of Chris Fagan moving veteran Dane Zorko down the back, proving to be a masterstroke and ultimately winning the biggest prize in football. Their 2024 season shows why they were so dangerous. They were 5th for stoppage scores, 2nd for turnover scores, 3rd in both defensive and forward half scores, and 5th for total points overall. And defensively, they were a powerhouse too, ranking 2nd for points against, 1st in forward half defence and turnover defence. However, there is always still room for improvement when you do reach perfection in football. They were ranked 10th for defending, rebounding, half scores, and 8th in stoppage defence. So while the forward and midfield pressure is very elite, obviously tightening up the defensive half will be a key for them going back to back, and also negating a very big out. The Lions' off-season reflects their intent to keep the window wide open, and obviously they were blessed with the father-son pick of Levi Ashcroft. They also recruited Sam Day on the pre-season draft. Ty Gallup and Sam Marshall joined through their academy selections at 25 and 42 respectively. They did lose some big players though. Joe Danaher, their big key forward who was sensational last year, he retired. Kaylin Lane, Jared Lyons, James Madden, Carter Michael and Jackson Pryor were all ultimately delisted, and Harry Sharp was traded out to Melbourne. Obviously, the headline of these arrivals would be Levi Ashcroft, who joins big brother Will in the engine room at Brisbane. He has already generated a massive buzz with a phenomenal junior year, and people can't really understate how good he was. He ended up playing the 9 games of the Coates Talent League, averaging 31 touches, 5.4 marks, 5.3 clearances, 6.7 inside 50s and 9.3 score involvements with just under 2 tackles and 1.3 goals. But in the national championships, he really did showcase that against the best of the best with 25.5 touches, 4 marks, 3.3 clearances, 7 score involvements, 1 goal a game in his 4 national championships games for Victoria. There's a lot of buzz about him, and he's definitely a ready-made footballer. Another exciting prospect, and who I think will have a breakout year, is Logan Morris. He showed flashes of brilliance last year, with averaging 1.3 goals a game. Ended up showcasing his really good versatility as a hybrid forward in that forward half of the ground. Some really strong marks, 3.5 of them, and also showing that he can get on the end of things as well, and really provide an outlet for his team with his high work rate up the ground, but also deep inside. Ended up 4.2 score involvements. He will be a key pillar, I think, this year into Brisbane's retention of this flag, purely because of the absence of Joe Danaher. Hitwood and Sam Day may be doing a stopgap with Oscar McElhinney going forward, but Logan Morris will suddenly get some more responsibility, and he's definitely one to look out for. With their experienced core, their strong defence and their exciting young talent, they are a team to watch. They head into 2025 as the second most experienced and the second oldest side, and also have been given one of the harder draws in the AFL this year with their fixtures, as you would expect with a reigning premier. They're currently ranked with the 2nd hardest fixture list in the AFL via the consensus of AFL ratings last year's and the bookie rankings, and I have them the top 2 in the pre-season power rankings already. Next up is the Geelong Football Club, who finished 3rd on the ladder in 2024, and after an off-season when many people last year were calling them too old to compete and retain their flag, the Cats silenced the doubters with a very, very strong campaign. They were statistically dominant in all the areas we expect. The number 1 stoppage scoring side in the comp, 5th in turnover scores, first in defensive half scores and third for total points scored. Defensively, they had their up and downs though, and this was partly down to some key injuries down there. They were ranked fourth for forward half defence, 8th for turnover defence, but defensive half defence and stoppage defence, they were 14th and 15th respectively. Despite these inconsistencies, they finished the 11th best side for points against, thanks to their ability to control the game with their really rigid and prudent game plan. Now let's look at the off-season moves that Geelong made as they entered the season as the 5th oldest but the 3rd most experienced side. They brought in Cillian Burke as a Category B rookie. They brought in big player Bailey Smith. And they brought in several other draft picks, Lennox Hoffman and Jay Polkinghorne, really to point some players out. They lost Zach Toohey and Tom Hawkins to retirement, and Brad Parfitt, Phoenix Foster, among some others, were delisted. But the most exciting acquisition has to be Bailey Smith, who missed 2024 with an ACL injury. But in 2023, the mercurial midfield forward weapon averaged over 27 touches per game. His ability to win the ball and get on the end of scorer involvements was a huge asset to the Dogs at the time. And he is one of the most exciting young footballers in the competition. His ability to break lines, to go into the midfield and add some real points of difference, but also kick goals himself, will make him a key asset to a Geelong's marauding forward line. He is a real strong competitor and one that I am really excited about seeing line up in the blue and white of Geelong Football Club. One player that I think will have a massive year is a player called Lawson Humphreys. And Lawson Humphreys last year really did burst onto the scene, it has to be said. He ended up playing the 11 games, averaging 17 touches, averaging 2.6 rebound 50s. He was top 3 for the young players in metres gained and effective disposals, and I expect to have another big year. He really did impress with his ability to take the game on and didn't look out of place in a Geelong team. I really think that he could be a big key point of difference for them and one that's going to really break out in 2025. Another pre-season under the belt. Watch out, AFL football world. Geelong's ability to blend experience and emerging talent keeps them firmly in the Premiership conversation. And although they're one of the oldest teams, you count them at their peril. I've got them again top 4 in the power rankings. Let me know how you think they'll get on in 2025. Finally, let's talk about Hawthorn Football Club. The surprise packet of 2024, the ones that jumped up to the ladder, they jumped up to 7th. And Sam Mitchell's young side played a scintillating brand of football that was exciting, controlled and measured. They mixed a very young side with some AFL senior recruitment and they shocked everyone with their rapid ride. And at times, they were probably the best team to watch in the AFL competition. Offensively, the Hawks were incredibly dangerous, finishing 6th in stoppage scores, forward half scores and points scored, 8th in turnover scores and 9th in defensive half scores. And defensively, they showed improvement year on year as you'd expect, but there's still some room for improvement. 12 in stoppage half defence would be a concern. At times they were broken down at that area. 7th for forward half defence, 2nd in turnover defence, and the number 1 side in defensive half scoring defence, making them the 6th best defensive side overall. And their off-season recruitment has really been focused on that backline and making it stronger. Hawthorn enters 2025 as the 10th oldest side, but the 8th most experienced. And some of them acquisitions were incredible. Tom Barrass and Josh Battle coming in on a trade and a free agency. They also recruited Noah Mraz. And out, there was Chad Wingard and several other delistings, including train-on player at Carlton, Denver Granger Barras. Now, the arrivals of Tom Barrass and Josh Battle add massive reliability to the AFL. The arrivals of Tom Barrass and Josh Battle add massive reliability and experience to an already strong backline. And the one in particular that I really want to look at is Josh Battle, who last year was one of the top 6 players for marks per games and top 20 for intercepts. His ability to really break up attacking play and become a threat going forward shouldn't be understated. Playing 23 games for St Kilda last year, having 3 rebound 50s, averaging 7.6 marks per game, averaging just under 18 touches. But the one that's key is the 7 intercepts per game. He's going to be a real strong one, and his ability to add that to 3 score involvement games shows he is a threat. Tom Barrass was equally strong in his 18 games, one of the top 13 players for 1%ers and also top 10 for intercept per games. Playing 18 games, 13.4 touches, again, just under 7 marks, 3.2 rebound 50s, and a real strong 88, just under 8 intercept possessions per game. These players really add a massive dynamic to them and make an already strong backline now an attacking threat as well. Really good acquisitions and didn't really break the bank, especially Josh Battle coming in on free. One player that I think is going to have a sensational 2025 is Will Day, who has been announced that he's going to play predominantly on the wing and get inside minutes. And he had a real strong 2024 campaign, playing the 16 games before injuries, 19 touches, 4.6 tackles, 3.6 inside 50s, and 4.4 score involvements per game. Also showed you that with his ability to work around, particularly around stoppages, averaging just under 4 clearances per game, but also showing that he could get forward and back and act as an extra defender as well. He's one of the best young players in the competition. Going in at 23, he'll be 24 by the end of the season. I think they could be a real breakout player and really look at all Australian honours. Hawthorn's mix of youth, experience, dynamic game plan, and a scintillating game plan at that are a fascinating team to watch. They have got one of the toughest draws in the AFL though, ending up with the 3rd toughest draw in the AFL as per the consensus rankings. This will ask a little bit of a question of them. I'm not as bullish on Hawthorn as I was last year, just purely because they're now no longer a surprise packet, and also they've got real tough fixtures. But they should be in the mix, and I am 100% confident these guys are the real deal and will win a flag, mark my words, before 2028. So that's the front runners that we've got so far. Who do you think is the team to beat? Who do you think will go the furthest out of these 3? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell for more great AFL content. Until next time, peace, love, and light. Pom out.
Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it. A feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless.